So to answer the last question about the Dundalk game, I'm very disappointed in my players. They should have won the game away from home. We didn't do good enough at home, so we do deserve to be out of the Champions League. I thought we could do it. I thought we could go at least as far as like the last playoff, but it wasn't to be. I've already told the players I'm very disappointed. But yeah, we should have done better is the answer to your question, Mr. Journalist. And AIK sadly will not be in the Champions League this season. I want to end the press conference here as I want to announce to everybody that this will be my last press conference in charge of AIK, as I will be resigning after this conference. I've taken a job offer in Holland with PSV Eindhoven, so I'm just letting you all know that I'm leaving the club. It's been a good times, and I think what we'll do is we will go through our highlights together, me and you the press, me the manager, as we do take the PSV job. What do you mean, how long is it going to take? Well, 20 minutes, is that alright? Can you stick on for 20 minutes? Good. So, the press are going to wait for 20 minutes, and we're going to go through 20 minutes of our history with AIK. What's going on, guys? My name is Adam, I am a Super Swan, and welcome to Club 3, Episode 13 of the FM20 Campus to Champions. It is our last episode in Sweden with AIK, as you can see in the news, PSV Eindhoven have approached Super Swan with a job offer. So before we take that, we're going to have a look over AIK, see how well we got on, look at some of the players that will be added to our shortlist, and then for the second half of the episode, we'll be looking at PSV, looking at their squad, where they need to improve, and what the goals are for the season. So quickly, they've offered me 12 grand a week, which is more than the 3.5 that I'm on at the moment. But if we look at the club info, AIK, we came in halfway through the season, not last season, the season before. We just missed out on a Europa League place, or Europa Conference 2, or whatever the second tier of Europa League football is. And we did manage to finish the league in 5th place, which was pretty good considering where we were. But the real work started in the season just gone, and the right transfers came in, and we managed to win Allsvenskan, which you don't have to say the Allsvenskan. I had someone on Twitter message me to say that the is built into the name of Allsvenskan. So you don't have to say the Allsvenskan, you just say Allsvenskan. So yeah, we took them to first place, and I think what we'll do is we'll have a look at the squad that got us there, have a look at the transfers and see how well we did with AIK. So if we go back to the first proper half season, so the first signing we ever made in AIK was William Tannell from Orebro for £1 million. He's now worth 1.4 mil, and he has been key to the fact that we are rising up the league. He wants to move to a bigger club, so I think now might be the time to move on before our whole squad decides that they're too good for AIK. But if we look at his stats when we brought him in, he scored 6 goals from 11 appearances in the half season we had him, 13 goals in 24 appearances. He was the top goal scorer that season. Not quite as prolific this time around, only 4 goals so far, but overall he's played 47 games and scored 23 goals. So that £1 million was a very good investment, and I hope he doesn't leave AIK, because I want him to stay there and see how well he does. De Wild was a very good player for the 3 months we had him, and then Diallo, he was a nothing player really. But our first proper transfer window, so this was the signings that we made to help us win the league, and we had Ronnie Ario, the centre-back from Ecuador. He's done really well. He's been 6.8 average rating, 40 games for AIK, strengthened our defence. And we had the likes of, who else we had? Mixedo, who we bought for 30 grand, sold for 1.8 mil, and then brought him back in on loan. So we had a really good business there. Ewan Henderson, we've recently brought him back to the club. Mabrakna, what a winger Mabrakna turned out to be. We bought him from Malmo, and he has been tearing it up since then. I mean, in 36 games in the league, he's scored 12 goals, 4 assists, 6 player of the matches, and he's averaged a 7.0 average rating throughout the whole time. So Mabrakna, We accepted bids from him. Like we said, Leeds United come in for him in the previous episode. But he's wanted by Huddersfield, Birmingham, Paderborn. So another player that might be on the way out of AIK. I think it's a team in transition, AIK. I mean, I'm leaving, Tannell's leaving, Nathaniel Ario's gone to Chelsea. So a lot of players are on their way. So for that year and a half that we were there, we had all the pieces all together at once. And they did manage to win us the league. Karlström came in from Helsingborg. He did really well. Tim Wickman has recently broke into the side. Brasinac did all right when he was on loan with us. You know, he did all right, I guess. We didn't loan him back, really. Nathaniel Ario. So he's the man that's gone to Chelsea for like 9.5 mil. And clearly this man's going to be a big player. And he's going to be someone we're going to keep an eye on throughout the save, I think. And look at that, 2.4 mil. Didn't, 5 assists in the first season. He had 3 so far in the second season. Clearly, that was enough for Chelsea to pay 10.25 mil. So again, we're leaving AIK in a fantastic financial position. And then, of course, Glenn Green, my favourite player of the save so far. We had him at Glentoran. He came with us to AIK. I might try and bring him with me to PSV, to be honest with you, because I think he could do a job at that level. We still don't know what Glenn Green's level is. He tore it up in Northern Ireland. He tore it up in Sweden. He might be able to tear up in Holland as well. But what a player Glenn Green has. 30 appearances, 10 goals for him. He scores goals wherever he goes. And he's now a Northern Irish full international. So what a player we had on our hands at Glentoran. And those mixture of players was enough to get us that league title. And certainly, as I say, we are now a team in transition. And in this season, we were only here for 6 months, so we did half a season. Darling's looked like a good signing. Walmark's a solid centre-back. I'm really excited about Palatu. He's 5-star potential. He's always growing. He's 2 stars now. I want him to be a right winger inside forward. So we're going to be keeping an eye on him. We spent big money with the AIK. We spent, 3 mil on him? Yeah, 3.3 mil. So I'm hoping that he's going to turn into a superstar player. Carvalho's done really good whilst he's been on loan. Chidi's the same. Mixedo, the goalkeeper we brought back in from Lazio. Juninho, the man who can run round every player, he just can't shoot. So, he's only scored 3 goals in 14 league appearances. But as we've seen in the last few episodes, he just run rings on everyone, but then just can't score the goals. So he's been a little bit disappointed. I thought he might have been a little bit better than he has been. And then, of course, Ewan Henderson, he's just starting his career back at AIK after we loaned him last season. And I hope he turns into a solid player as well. So those are the players that we're leaving behind. And look at them in the squad, because we can't add people to shortlists until we take the new job. So we'll go through adding people to shortlists once we accept the PSV job. But this group of players, it is a team in transition, because we're going to probably be seeing the likes of Tannell leave the club. Allstrand's wanted as well. Nathaniel Ario's already left. Nilsson Eklund's left. He went to Barnsley, I think he went to. So there's a lot of players now who are starting to get a little bit itchy feet. Similar to me, really. I've had itchy feet to leave and go to PSV. But I'm hoping that they can win the league this year. I mean, we're leaving them in a good position. They are, 4 points clear with a game in hand over Norrköping and Malmo. So they are in a very good position. I mean, they are knocked out of the Champions League, which was very disappointing. We should have made at least the next round against Dundalk. I mean, we conceded 3 poor goals out in Ireland, and then we just couldn't score any goals when we came back home. So we are now in the Europa Conference 2, and that's going to be all the European Cup 2 or the Europa League 2. It's the 3rd tier of European football, and I hope that they get through at least to the group stages, because that'll be a nice little earner for AIK, and I'll be looking on from afar and hoping that they do well. And I've talked about finances. I mean, they've got 10 million in the bank now, 16 million overall balance. It's the most money they've had since I've been at the club, really. And they've got loads of room in the wage budget. They've got loads of transfer budget available as well. So whoever does come in after me is going to have the budget to rebuild any lost players that they will lose. But yeah, it's going to be sad leaving this team behind. I've enjoyed my time in Sweden. We were here for 2 years. We had the 1/2 season we started, then the full season we won the league, and then we've had this half season as well. And I didn't intend on leaving AIK, if I'm being honest. It was only until I seen the PSV job come up, and I was thinking, I wonder how far I can get with this job application, and we managed to get the job. So when PSV Eindhoven come calling, you don't say no to PSV. So it is a sad goodbye to the Allsvenskan champions AIK. We've left them in a good position in the league. I hope they do manage to retain that title. And fingers crossed, we wish them all the best of success. So what that does mean now is we will be negotiating with Toon Gerbrands, the chairman of PSV. Let's start these negotiations. So he wants develop players using the club's youth system, play attacking football. Yep, that's fine by me. They want to reach the Champions League group stages, which all depends on where they are in the qualification. So we'll have a second chance to qualify for the Champions League this season after we failed with AIK. Challenge for the Eredivisie. So they want us to challenge for the league title. So they don't want us to win the title. They just want us to challenge for it. So Ajax, AZ Alkmaar, there's going to be a few big teams we need to get over there. And basically, it's to win the league. That's the projection of the side. And, you know, we've won league titles in Northern Ireland. We've won league titles in Sweden. I mean, if you count my first job, Wales, I didn't win the league with Swansea Uni. But, I mean, come on. Swansea Uni, amateur side against TNS. We were level on points with them and we almost won the league twice. I'm counting that as a league victory. So I have a pedigree to win league titles. So they've offered me a 2-year contract, 12 grand a week. We push it up to 13, maybe? 12, 12.75? 12.5? There we go. So we've upped them from 12.5 grand a week, which, considering we were on 3.5 grand a week at AIK, we've had a massive pay rise to go to Holland. So I will finalise the deal, we'll exit the talks, and it's goodbye to AIK, but it's hello to club number 4, PSV Eindhoven. What a jump this is. We've gone from AIK, who in their own rights are a good team, they're a big club in Sweden, but PSV Eindhoven are a massive club. They've got history of producing good players, and I'm hoping that we can utilise that sort of system with PSV. In a move which is sure to spark plenty of heated debate, Super Swan has left AIK to join PSV Eindhoven. They paid 600 grand to get me in, so at least we're keeping the coffers high in AIK. We had 6 years of experience with the likes of AIK and Glentoran. Swan has earned himself a reputation for playing attacking football and appears to be a great fit for the club's current vision at Philips Stadion. Swan lifted the Allsvenskan with AIK in 2024 and will now be afforded the chance to enhance his reputation by bringing success to his new club. Let's move on. What else have we got? So reputation, 3.5 stars, second in the media prediction. So even the media don't think we're going to win the league, but we're there or thereabouts. A 35,000 capacity stadium, which I think is a bit lower than the Friends Arena in Sweden. So we're going to a slightly smaller stadium, but it's still a massive club, to be fair. These are the players, we'll be meeting them shortly, and we already know about the club vision. They want us to challenge for the Eredivisie, which, again, I have to learn from old lady plays from my Swedish pronunciations. I have to see if she's done a Dutch pronunciation so I can get these right as well. So Super Swan takes charge of PSV Eindhoven. Before we go into all that though, we will be adding players to our former players shortlist, and let's have a look who we want to add in here. So if we search through the list here, I think Eric Ahlstrand's going to be a player we want to keep on top of. He's done very well while we were at AIK, so we'll add him to the shortlist. Froling, definitely, what a winger Niels Froning was whilst we were at AIK, so he can go on the former players shortlist. Tanel, again, our first signing at AIK, turned out to be one of our best. He can go on the shortlist as well. Mabrakna, what a winger. He's going on the shortlist as well. And we're allowed 5 players from each club. So we've got Ahlstrand, Froling, Tanel, Glenn Green's already on there because he was on there from Glentoran. So I'm allowed one more. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to do it for Nathaniel Ario. I know he's now at Chelsea, but technically he's one of our players. So we'll add him to the former players shortlist as well. So those are the 5 players. Alstrand, Froling, Tanel, and Nathaniel Ario are the 5 players we'll be keeping tabs on. And what we normally do as well, we'll have a look at the other players on the shortlist. So since we last left them, we've just taken over AIK. Let's have a look at some of these players. So Marley Bishop Wisdom, he's still at Swansea Uni. Mark Helms without a club. So the man that went from Swansea Uni to Mansfield thinking he was too good for Swansea Uni, 23 years old now, without a club. So if he doesn't get a club soon, he might drop off our shortlist if he doesn't get a club. Alabusu still at Swansea Uni. Let's have a look at him. I mean, look at those attributes. I mean, back when we were at Swansea Uni, this guy was amazing right back. And we look at these stats now and go, I don't think he could do a job for us at PSV. But still at Swansea Uni, man. He's been there now for 6 seasons now. So he's very loyal, Ryan Alabusu. Same with Jaden Bennett. He's still there. Cameron Archer, the man that left us for TNS. He's still at TNS. Does he get games for them, though? No, he doesn't. Last season, he didn't play any games at all. He's not been anywhere near as prolific as he was when he had that 6 months with us. He had 11 goals in half a season, and he's never hit those heights since. So, a common theme here is that players that leave my clubs don't do as well as they were with me. Cameron Archer, 24 years old now. Again, you look at his stats and go, not the best of players, but at the time, he was like a 5-star player when we were at Swansea Uni. So he's still at TNS. Josh Daniels at Ballymena United. So Josh Daniels we had at Glentoran. What happened to him? So we had him there. That was the season we had him at our club. He went to Larne. So Larne, the financial powerhouse, he went there and he had one good season. Well, I say one decent season. Only scored 1 goal compared to the 12 that he scored for us. And then he left on a free transfer. So Josh Daniels, again, he was a really good left winger. He's left Glentoran. So he moved on. Levi Lang, a Swansea Uni centre-back, still at Cambridge United. He's been there for a few years now. So that's that now. 5 seasons he's been there. He's been a regular in League 2 since he left us. So it was nice to know that we had a League 2 calibre player whilst we were at Swansea Uni. Dean Rooney's at Larne as well. So the centre-back with a lot of potential when we were at Glentoran, he's joined Larne now as well. Only this season, 14 grand they paid for him. And it's nice to see he broke through the side though. So Glentoran, he had broke through to the first team. And Dean Rooney went over to Larne. Bill Lewis, an Irish player. So he came with us from Swansea Uni to Glentoran. He wants to move to a bigger club. He's got very good stats, to be fair. I'm going to put a scouting on him, even though I don't know if he'd be good enough for PSV, but he might be good enough for AIK if I was still their manager. So Bill Lewis, still at Glentoran. How's he getting on now? He's in his 4th season there now. 6.8's fairly decent, I would say. So Bill Lewis, hopefully he'll be moving on to a bigger club soon. Sean Banks, midfielder for Glentoran, he's still there. Welsh player, capped at under 19 level. How's he got on since we left him? So, a starter. And he's had his best season so far. 7.10 with 7 goals. So, a solid midfielder. Sean Banks, number 8 for Glentoran. And we've got Leighton Stewart. He was our second good striker at Swansea Uni. He left for Notts County after 6 months. Fairly prolific in League 2. His best season was 23-24. 11 goals that year. So, again, another League 2 calibre player that we had at Swansea Uni. And then we've got all of our AIK players as well. So that's a very quick roundup of the former players that we had. So we've got 17 players now on this shortlist. And every time we move clubs, we add 5 players to that list. And we'll be keeping tabs on them every time we change club. So that's where we are so far. And, hopefully at PSV, we can get some more players added to that shortlist. So I think what we'll do is I'll go through the news article, sort everything out. I will have a quick look at Psv Squad. This is the Psv Squad, and looking at them, I have a very, very good squad on my hands here. As I mentioned in the last episode, the manager that was here retired, so it wasn't as if he got sacked or moved on to a better team, so there was no reason to get rid of him other than the fact that he retired. So I do have a very strong squad here, and we'll have a look at the top 3 players of the team, just to see what they look like, because I'm sure as we move on to Club 4 and the series that will be starting there, we'll get to know all these players and know how good they are. So we'll have a look at the top 3. So we've got Michael Buchenhoren. He looks to be a striker. Yeah, he's a striker. And oh my word. Look at these numbers. He's the best player I've ever looked at in my life. Well, in Football Manager 2020, that is. Look at these stats. I mean, we normally play pressing forward, but 16 dribbling, 18 off the ball, 18 teamwork, 17 stamina. I mean, before, when we were at AIK, if they had any yellow attributes, they were very, very good. But now we're starting to see green, bright green attributes, which normally means 16 or above. And yeah, Michael Buchenhoren's probably going to be our starting striker. He's amazing. He's already starting to think he should go to a bigger club. So that kind of tells you how good of a striker he is. 3.5-star current ability, potentially could be 4.5 stars. And if you think he's 3.5-star at this level, so he could move on to be an even bigger level, but a very good striker. So I think we're not going to be shy in strikers. We should be pretty good on that front. We've got Hjalmar Jansson, an attacking midfielder. Let's have a look at him. Oh, look at those physicals. 17 acceleration, 17 agility, 16 pace, 16 stamina, 17 first touch. He already plays advanced playmaker, so he already fits into the gegenpressing system. 21 years old, 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. These are big, big players. These are players that could play for, like, big teams. And I mean, like, your Real Madrids, your Liverpools, your Barcelonas, that type of team. We've definitely stepped up. We are at a much bigger level than we were at AIK. 10.25 mil, 21 years old. Hjalmar Jansson. What a player. We'll have a look at one more. Ritsu Duan, Japanese player. You can play attacking midfield, right wing. I mean, again, these numbers are unbelievable. We are stepped up in caliber of players that we had at AIK. Not sure how many of my AIK players can get into this team, but we'll have a scout to them and see who we can bring in. But those are the top 3 players, and if I look at the tactics, I've already sort of put my own tactic in, the gegenpress that we played at AIK. And we're looking very solid, to be fair, on the role abilities. So we've got a side that kind of already know how to play gegenpress, and they fit all the right places. So I think next time we'll have to have a look at the squad. And if I look at finances, 77 million in the bank. We've got a £28 million transfer budget. We've got £1.2 million wage budget, which we had 120k at AIK. So we've times 10 the budget, and we've still got about 300 grand to play with as well. So we do have maneuverability in the transfer market to sign players if we want to. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, if I go to club info, we're a Champions League. In fact, if I look at the schedule, well, we'll look at this screen first. So we're a Champions League team, rich finances, 3.5-star reputation. You know, we've been there or thereabouts winning the league. So I think the board's probably going to want us to challenge for that league title. If I look at the schedule, yeah, so we're in the Champions League best placed third qualifying round. So we're either going to play Galatasaray or Victoria Pilsen. So we'll probably come back for episode 1 of Club 4. We'll come back for the Champions League game, I think, just to get us, you know, in the mood for Champions League football, hopefully. And if I look at, right, the last thing I'm going to do, because I could look here all day, we'll have a look at the reserves and see what we're looking like as far as B team and C team. So B team, oh, look at these players. Look at them, 5-star potential, 4.5-star potential, 4-star potentials, 3-star current ability already in the B team. If If I look at the under-19s, again, 4.5-star potential, 4-star, 4-star. So PSV have got a very good youth system. We've already got brilliant players coming through. So yeah, that is PSV. We'll have a look at the season preview. But yeah, we're second. We're second favourites to win the league. Ajax, of course, are the best team. But we've already got players like, Buchenhoren, Dumfries. We've got players in the team of the media dream 11. So we've taken over a side that I don't think needs much tweaking to win the league. But yeah. So there we go, my friends. AIK, we end on a high. Well, I guess we're in the Champions League and we lost, but we did what we could. But now we step up a notch, and next time we'll be in Club 4, Episode 1, PSV Eindhoven. Big things expected, challenge for the league title, and it's going to be a very exciting time as we start in Club 4. But leave a like if you enjoyed, guys. Subscribe to the channel for more Football Manager 2020 content. We will be uploading Campus to Champions every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 6 PM GMT. Leave a comment on what your favourite AIK moment was. But my friends, next time we leave Sweden, we move to Holland as we take over the giants of Dutch football, PSV Eindhoven. Thank you very much for watching.